We have Dr. Torsten Schwede with us now. Dr. Schwede, how has the India AI Impact Summit been so far for you? And in terms of the big takeaways, what would you say it will be? Because today was the day of the plenary. We heard from several speakers, several keynote addresses, a lot of optimism, but at the same time, we are perhaps in the domain of unpredictability is also a sense that we get.
Yeah, I think the opening session really covered a lot of the interesting aspects. On one side, there's this strong enthusiasm that AI now is at this breaking point where it starts impacting the whole society. On the other side, there's the question, how do we use it in a responsible way? And the Prime Minister Modi has made it very clear that for India, it's important to use AI for the people in the broad sense and not monopolize it for certain activities, but really democratize the access. And this is something that resonates very well with the Swiss attitude to AI. So we have recently published an open AI model, multilingual model that can handle up to 1,000 languages in parallel, that is completely open from the data, open from the training. And as India, we think that this is a key technology for the future, and it should be open to science, open to society. And we should use it for training the next generation of scientists and of workforce.
So this is some kind of collaboration that India and Swiss government is looking at.
So this is an initiative that Switzerland has done, building this model, because we have the capacity for both the skill set at the universities as well as the large-scale computing. But this is something that is embedded in a larger frame where many governments work together on building governance structures for responsible use of AI. And it's, of course, something that is open also for integrating more Indian dialects, because it's a multi-language model. So it should be able to handle not only the European languages.
You've said something very fascinating. The emphasis is on trust. The emphasis is on responsible AI. But given the nature of AI, how responsible can it be? And do you think the domain of responsibility will be with the individual, the human who's creating the AI?
I think there's two responsibilities. There's the human that creates it, but I think there's much more responsibility in the human that uses it. Because in the end, it's a tool. You can use it for the good, or you can use it for something harmful. And in that sense, I think the responsible use is the key factor. And that requires, to some extent, transparency, that you know where it comes from, how has it been trained, but also how does it work and what biases might it have or what mistakes does it do. But I'm convinced that in many fields, AI will be highly beneficial. Like in my own research area, I'm a protein structure prediction person. And about 5 years ago, AI enabled us to do structure prediction with extremely high accuracy. And this is what gave the Nobel Prize then to DeepMind and Dennis Hassabis and John Jumper. And now this allows us to study diseases, to look at drug design, which I think is a very responsible use of AI. So in that sense, I think we have lots of opportunities.
So does a responsibility also move around the domain of regulation? And that's where the roles of the governments come in.
Absolutely. So I think we need clear rules of regulations on the use of AI and on the training in AI, but we have to make sure that they're applicable. So if we make the regulations too tight, we're just preventing the legitimate use and we're standing in our own way. And also regulation that is too tight is always too late. Because AI is moving really fast.
Could you explain a little bit more, Professor, with regards to the work and the collaboration that the two countries are looking at? And it would be, since you say that it will be very localized, hyper-local collaboration, what would be the nature of that collaboration?
So what we're currently building is a collaboration between the funding agencies in Switzerland, the Swiss National Science Foundation, and the funding agencies here in India. And what we're setting up is a research platform, research framework, where we support bottom-up researchers collaborating between the two countries. Because we feel that the researchers know best at the moment what are the areas to be researched, especially in a fast-paced field as AI. I think it is important that the researchers that are at the cutting edge are directly collaborating and solving the current problem. So the way we're setting it up is a framework program where we have calls funded jointly by Switzerland and the Indian funding agency, where researchers apply for grants and then collaborate for several years together on attacking some of these hard problems.
Yes, because we are in Global South and in the midst of what is being seen as a massive experiment, a lot of innovation ideas which is coming from India, design which is happening. But Prime Minister's vision is that design and develop in India, but the delivery has to be for the world. Where do you see the placement to be?
If I compare my two countries, I think they couldn't be more different. So Switzerland is a small country, high priced, high salary, high technology, but very slow in adaptation of technologies. And I think India is just the opposite. You have a huge market and you have a very open, young society that loves to adopt technologies. So I think the attitude to building technologies and rolling it out is completely different here in India. And I think we can really learn from each other. And by teaming up, I think we can build interesting high tech that is ready for the planet. And I think there we really have an opportunity in working together.
All right. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.